Good evening. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, 5 o'clock right here. And round one of the Live Golf Tournament is just wrapping up for the day in Central Indiana.
That's right. The pro golf world coming to Westfield for the first time. And in addition to the competition, there are a lot of events happening on the course. You got a concert, interactive games, even a petting zoo.
Yes, Jenna Webster joins us live from downtown Westfield, where businesses are hoping that fans will journey off the beaten course too.
Yeah, the tournament comes at a good time for all the businesses in downtown Westfield, because if you've driven through the area, you know what you've gotten used to, and it's all of this construction here. I mean, gosh, it's right smack dab in front of Field Brewing. They're just one of the businesses that is hoping that this weekend brings a big boost to them. Now, Field Brewing was a bit quieter earlier today when we were in there, but it is expecting bigger crowds tonight after tournament play ends. About right now, actually. In fact, the general manager says tomorrow and Sunday they're seeing more reservations being made than usual, with groups up to 15 people. She says the restaurant industry and small businesses really rely on events like these.
Grand Park is typically helpful in that, but now that their season's kind of ending, it's nice to have Live Golf come in and kind of provide that extra, 15 to 20,000 people, hopefully, and get some exposure from that, especially with construction.
Now, Field Brewing is one of just more than 70 businesses all around Hamilton County that's participating in this Beyond the Course promotion. If you sign up online, it's completely free to do so. You're going to get some special promotions and discounts at these participating businesses. Visit Hamilton County actually says that's valid through Monday. By the way, back when Live Golf announced that this tournament was coming to Central Indiana, it was expected that this tournament would bring anywhere from $21 to $29 million to this area. So hopefully some of that business is able to go to the restaurants and other small businesses around here, guys.
Yeah, huge boost for Hamilton County, for sure.
Jenna, I'm sure it will. Thank you so much, Jenna, up in Westfield. And we've had a crew on the course today as the tournament got underway. So in about 15 minutes, Dom will join us live to get you caught up on all the action during the first day of the tournament. So he hit the link so we can chat some golf. All right, and let's get it to Angela, because they certainly had a hot one today.
They sure did. What's the rest of the weekend looking like, Angela?
Just as hot, if not hotter. We ended up in the low 90s today, low to mid 90s for the upcoming weekend. We'll take you live outside, where we've been dealing with the higher heat and especially the higher humidity today. You could feel it compared to yesterday. We have 88 degrees in Bainbridge, 90 at Morse Reservoir, 90 Bunker Hill, and 91 degrees in Carmel at this hour. Feels like temperatures have neared 100 in Terre Haute. It feels like 99, feeling like 93 in Indianapolis. Coming downtown for the Fever game, we've been keeping an eye on radar. It's relatively quiet with some storms up to the north and west. It's warm and muggy for us. Temperatures this evening in the 80s. That's a 7:30 tip.
Angela, thank you. And tonight, state police are in Delaware County trying to figure out how a 10-year-old girl ended up dead inside a car.
Marina Silva brings us the latest now on the investigation and new details we've learned about the family impacted by this awful tragedy.
That 10-year-old little girl's dad works here at the Delaware County Sheriff's Office as a deputy. This is hitting very close to home for a lot of people.
The family lives in Selma, about 7 miles from Muncie. Multiple agencies were called to the home around 5 p.m. for a 10-year-old girl who was found unresponsive in a car. We're told the girl has a documented lifelong medical condition, but right now police are not revealing what that condition is. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office handed this investigation over to the Indiana State Police.
But once that cause of death has been determined, it will be released by the coroner. And of course, this is a heartbreaking case, as with any case that's involving a child. But our top priority is to gather all the facts before we draw any conclusions.
Indiana State Police says they do not suspect foul play in this incident, again calling this a tragic incident. Reporting in Delaware County, Marina Silva, 13 News.
Marina, thank you. And of course, as we work to find out how that little girl died, we'll bring you updates here on 13 News, on the air and online at WTHR.com.
Tonight, the Plainfield Police Department is investigating a gun found in a student's backpack at school. The district sent parents a notice letting them know that a student, quote, inadvertently brought the parent's handgun to school. The notice went on to state the parent called the school to let them know what happened, saying they had used the backpack and had forgotten to take out the gun before their child went to school. School administrators and the school resource officers then removed the backpack and gun from the student's locker.
And in Indianapolis tonight, Metro Police say they have freed a woman who they believe was a victim of human trafficking. It all started as a welfare check yesterday at a hotel near Michigan Road and West 86th on the northwest side. Officers were concerned about an 18-year-old there, got a search warrant, went inside, and that's when they say they found another potential victim along with the man they believe was their trafficker. The 31-year-old suspect is in jail tonight, held without bond for violating home detention. He's also accused of human trafficking, corrupt business influence, and drug possession.
Tonight, a man is under arrest accused of running over another man with a car and killing him. This is an update to a story that we brought you last night on 13 News at 5. 56-year-old Robbie Vedito died in the crash at Denison Street and West Troy Avenue yesterday morning. The car was there when police arrived, but the driver was not. And police say witnesses told them they thought the man who died actually owned the car. The 24-year-old suspect faces preliminary charges of murder, robbery causing serious bodily injury, auto theft, and battery with injury.
State Road 39 is back open in Boone County after a deadly crash this morning involving an SUV, a van, and a concrete truck. And now 3 people are in the hospital with serious injuries. It happened around 8 miles north of Lebanon, near Mechanicsburg. That's northern Boone County. Our partners at the Lebanon Reporter shared this picture of the crash with us. 2 people from Frankfort, 64-year-old Jose Chavez and 59-year-old Norma Perez, died in the SUV. Deputies have not shared what they believe caused the crash.
A former IMPD sergeant could avoid jail time as part of a plea deal in a theft case.
41-year-old Sarah Lampkin is charged with shoplifting at the Target on Southport Road back in February. According to the plea agreement, the 365-day sentence she'd receive would be served on probation instead of in jail. She'd also be required to stay away from all Target stores in Marion County during that sentence. A change of plea hearing is set for August 22nd.
State House Republicans will be heading to the White House later this month. Tonight, the question is, what will be on the agenda?
The invite came in the form of an email just a few weeks ago. Our State House reporter Emily Longnecker looked into it today.
Well, the email was first obtained by the Indiana Capital Chronicle, who then shared it with 13 News. The date on it shows that it was sent just a few weeks before Vice President J.D. Vance came here to the Indiana State House to meet with Governor Braun and other Republican leadership. The email makes no mention of redistricting, only that the invite is a chance for Indiana elected officials to hear from senior White House officials and cabinet secretaries.
One lawmaker who's already RSVP, Republican State Representative Craig Haggard.
So I'm going to go. I'll be there in D.C.
Haggard recently announced he's challenging Republican Congressman Jim Baird in next year's primary for Indiana's 4th District congressional seat. Earlier this week, Haggard said he'd heard from constituents who did not support calling a special session to decide if Indiana's congressional district should be redrawn. He now says that's changed.
My phone has been blowing up. I'm starting to hear from the other side now. And so that's why I'm saying, hey, I don't want to make this a definite. I want to find out truly as much as I can what the arguments are and how everybody feels. Because at this point, it's like I said, it's 50-50 and it hasn't stopped.
Haggard says he can't predict if redistricting will come up at the meeting. If it does, though, he says he has questions, like whether redrawing Indiana's maps could put some congressional seats now held by Republicans at risk, and what that means for the bigger picture nationally.
The fear is that you'll get this tit for tat kind of thing, that you'll just now have states battling each other back and forth depending on who's in power.
Democrats have characterized the push from the Trump administration for states to redraw their maps as a way for Republicans to hold on to power in the House. Several House Democrats traveled to Chicago this week to meet with Texas Democrats who were staying in Illinois to avoid voting on a redistricting proposal there.
Let me remind you that not one Republican legislator in the state of Indiana was calling for a special session before this guy showed up from Washington with his shoplifting strategy, okay? Not one.
Now it's a topic being discussed around the country on both sides of the political aisle. Whether it will come up when Indiana Republicans visit the White House in a few weeks remains to be seen.
I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what they're going to talk about there, except for the itinerary given us.
And Representative Haggard said he believes if a special session is to be called, that it would happen in the next few months, because we're really dealing with a timeline here. The Indiana primary is held next May, and the deadline for candidates to file to run in that primary is in January. So if something is going to happen, it would have to happen fairly soon. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longenecker, 13 News.
All right, we shall see. Emily, thank you. State lawmakers who plan to visit the White House need to RSVP by Tuesday.
Well, these partisan maneuvers are familiar to most politicians, like former Indianapolis Mayor Greg Ballard. The Republican led our predominantly Democratic city for 8 years, starting in 2007.
Earlier today, we asked Indy's 48th mayor for his thoughts on this political divide facing our nation right now and congressional redistricting. Here's what he said.
I do want people at the federal level to start talking to each other. They used to, just 40 years ago, the Democrats and Republicans would go out to dinner together. They're not doing that anymore, and I think part of that is gerrymandering, to be frank with you. The main election now is the primary. It's not the general election. People had to come to the center to win the general election. Not so much anymore. It's the primary because of gerrymandering.
This redistricting has been a top issue. Of course, we had the Indiana and Texas lawmakers discussing in Chicago about this very issue. Where do you stand on it?
I think all that's silly. I think we've had a norm in this country for a long time to do it after the census, and I think that served us well, and I think we should stay right there.
You make a point about...
It's former Indianapolis Mayor Greg Ballard there, and the conversation continues right now in its entirety on WTHR+.
The dialogue comes as Ballard is releasing a new book. It's called Urban Republican Mayor, My Story. And it details his time at the top seat in Indy. Now in Texas, where a redistricting fight has gained national attention, a second special session started today to try to redraw the congressional lines.
Democrats who left that state to stall a vote on the issue said they'd return once the first session ended. That happened today, but an hour later, a new session began. The roll call showed 97 members present. That's 3 short of the quorum needed to conduct legislative business.
This is the 6th straight failed attempt to reach the 100 members needed for the House to function.